Live with studios in Midland and Odessa, you're watching CBS7 First Alert News at 9 on the CW West Texas.
People, no one to take care of them. We do. That's why we're here for, to help one each other,
Today, the Salvation Army of Midland served 300 Christmas meals to those in need. Coming up in just a few minutes, we hear from the two chefs about what the service means to them. Thank you so much for joining us here at 9 o'clock, and thanks for joining us live on the CBS7 YouTube channel. I'm Matthew Alvarez, wishing you a very Merry Christmas. And while many of us spent the day opening gifts, our first responders have been hard at work. CBS7's Noe Ortega spent some time with Odessa Police and Odessa Fire Rescue to see just how they're keeping us safe.
To many, Christmas is a day for people to celebrate the day with their loved ones. But for those at work in emergency services, it's another day on the job and protecting the community. Empty lots, empty streets, but indoors, there's always someone ready to roll. For members of the Odessa Fire Rescue, it may feel like Christmas, but it's just another day for them.
It's no different than any other day. Yes, it is a holiday, but the city never stops. Emergencies, unfortunately, do still come in. So we're always ready at a moment's notice. Whether or not we're eating or we're just hanging out, we're ready to go.
However, they do have some traditions to get them through being away from their families.
Make good food. We watch football here at the station, sit around the table, talk, have a good time, eat desserts, little things like that is no different from home.
While the Odessa firefighters and EMTs enjoy time together, the Odessa Police Department has a different day to go through.
I mean, we patrol our area, but we do it by ourselves. Like you said, we do it by ourselves, and it's a 10-hour shift, We get a break here and there and keep going to work.
OPD's day is a bit more lonely. While the fire department is together for most of the day, officers are out patrolling different parts of the city. But at the end of the day, they believe it's worth it.
Well, you sacrifice some time with your family, but, it's sometimes just rewarding to work and that you're doing good for your community.
Christmas Day is always a little more quiet for both departments, but they urge everyone to have a safe and responsible holidays. For CBS7 First Alert News, I'm Noe Ortega.
Noe, thank you. Well, if you're celebrating today, you likely shared a hot, comforting meal with family and friends. The Salvation Army of Midland remains open on Christmas to provide that experience for those in need. CBS7's Hannah Brock met with two chefs at the shelter to find out what efforts go into providing hundreds of holiday meals. She joins us now in the newsroom with the details. Hannah?
6 turkeys, 6 hams, 12 cakes, and 4 trays of every classic holiday side. That's what volunteers and chefs served up to clients for Christmas dinner. Head chef Saeed Trevino says it takes at least 3 days to prep to serve about 300 meals on Christmas, and it's all from scratch. That's how Trevino has spent his last 4 Christmases.
Because now I see these people like my family, so for me it feels like I had to take care of them. I had to making a good dinner for them, making something special for them.
It's Anthony Anderson's 3rd Christmas as a cook at the shelter. He says he personally knows the importance of this service.
It's awesome. It's awesome. It really is. I'm also a former client here as well, so I know. It's good to get a meal for a holiday.
Both chefs were joined by volunteers serving up food, but it isn't just holidays that people can count on the Salvation Army of Midland.
And not just this day on Christmas, we keep our doors open 365 days a year here for food, so anytime you're welcome to come up here and eat.
Trevino added that everyone is welcome.
We're here to help. No matter what, we're here to help. No matter if it's raining, snowing, we're here. We're never closed. Our doors are open for everybody.
Whether it's a holiday or not, both chefs invite people to come out and volunteer. For CBS7 First Alert News, I'm Hannah Brock.
Hannah, thank you. Well, we are your First Alert weather station, and meteorologist Sawyer McElroy joins us in the First Alert Weather Center. Sawyer, Merry Christmas. What a beautiful day it turned out to be. You just had to keep a jacket on hand, and going into the night, looks like things have gotten really cold out there.
Yeah, Merry Christmas, Matthew, and Merry Christmas to everybody at home. Definitely a chilly one out there today. I pulled out the sweater, and definitely would have been a good day for a Christmas sweater. Looking at our current temperatures across the state, really dropping out there. 27 currently in Amarillo, 33 in Lubbock. already down to the 30s in the Midland, Odessa area. Across the rest of the region, we are seeing 30s and 40s, 49 still in Presidio, 41 in Van Horn, but down into the 30s for most of us at the present time. Winds overall not too bad, calm from being calm to about 5 miles per hour. However, with those light winds, we are still seeing some chilly temperatures. Alpine down to about 26 right now for that wind chill, so definitely a cold one out there tonight. Clear skies, quiet conditions though, kind of helping to make those temperatures so cold. And as we head through tonight, going to be on that cold side, temperatures in the 20s and 30s across the region. As we head through the next 3 days though, we are going to see a little bit of improvement in those temperatures though, but overall looking like a great week ahead.
Glad to hear it, Sawyer. Thank you very much. Talking environmental news here at 9, where the presents have been opened. Now, what do you do with all that wrapping paper and boxes? Well, before you head off to the dumpster, CBS's Danya Backus has some recycling tips.
The Burbank Recycle Center sees about 155 tons of material every day. That number increases 25% during the holidays as people send in the leftovers from all those presents.
This is our pre-sort line.
Amy Hammis is a recycling specialist. She says cardboard boxes and paper products that are not lined should be recycled, but you must remove the packing materials.
The tendency can be to keep all that packaging in there, and a lot of the stuff like the foam, the air pillows, things like that are not recyclable in your cart, and so you're just bringing contaminants to us.
Bows and ribbons are not recyclable and should be reused if possible. Wrapping paper is recyclable, but not all of it.
Once you start getting into all the fancy stuff, the gloss, the metallic, the glitter, all of that just degrades the value of the paper, and so it's not recyclable.
And those old, unwanted electronics are in a special category.
Anything that has a cord, like lighted trees or ornaments, needs to go to a recycle collection center and not placed inside your at-home recycle bin.
It's just going to tangle our equipment, and we're going to have to take it to a collection center for e-waste.
Many local governments have special points for e-waste, including products with rechargeable lithium batteries. And several retailers like Best Buy and Staples will recycle old electronics.
That has to be handled and dealt with responsibly.
Hammis says if you have any doubt, ask your recycling center what they accept to make sure your good intentions don't go to waste. Danya Backus, CBS News, Burbank, California.
Here's another tip for you. Keep items loose. Most recyclers do not want recycling items in plastic bags that they have to break open and then dispose of the bag. Also, breaking down cardboard boxes and removing the tape makes it a lot easier to recycle. Let's go to Florida now, where a family there wants to know why an airline placed their 6-year-old grandson on a flight to Orlando instead of Fort Myers. Family members say it appears the boy flew from Philadelphia without any adult supervision before they retrieved him at an airport 4 hours away from where he was supposed to be. Maria Ramos says her grandson Casper was traveling alone for the very first time from Philly aboard Spirit Airlines. The grandma became anxious, thinking the worst, after Casper's luggage arrived in Fort Myers, but the boy was missing. The 6-year-old called Ramos from Orlando, where he had landed, wondering where she was.
My stomach was tight, my heart was pounding. He said, "Mom, where are you? I don't see you. I got out the plane." I said, "What you mean you got out the plane?" He said, "Yes, I'm here. I land. I'm in the airport." I said, "Give me an adult." He said, "I don't have nobody with me."
Now, Ramos says she immediately drove 4 hours to Orlando to get Casper, who was still wearing his airline ticket that said Fort Myers around his neck. She said Spirit Airlines offered to reimburse the family for the drive, but she is seeking more answers from the airline about how this could happen.
I want them to call me and let me know how my grandson ended up in Orlando. How did that happen? Did they get him out the plane? Did the flight attendant, after mom handle him with paperwork, did she let him go by himself and he jumped in the wrong plane by himself?
Now, in a statement, Spirit Airlines said it takes the safety and responsibility of transporting all guests seriously and is conducting an internal investigation. Back here at home, back to Christmas time. We're celebrating right now, and I have an idea for you to spend some quality time together with your family and friends. Now, tonight, for a little bit longer, you'll still be a great night to head out to Starbright Village, maybe with a jacket out there at McKinney Park in South Odessa. Still open, not only today, but this entire week. You can visit Starbright Village from 6 to 11 p.m., so you still got a little bit less than 2 hours, and that's all the way through January 1st. There are so many displays for you to walk or even drive through. And while so many of us dream of a white Christmas, we don't want it to come with travel headaches. But unfortunately, that's exactly what many in the central and upper Midwest ran into with snow, causing spinouts on roads and frustrated travelers at airports. Jen Sullivan reports on the Christmas weather impacting travel.
A powerful storm pummeling parts of the plains and upper Midwest. More than 725,000 people across South Dakota, parts of Colorado, and Nebraska under a blizzard warning Monday. Omaha could see between 5 to 11 inches of snow by Tuesday. The weather crippling Christmas travel. The slick and dangerous conditions causing multiple semis to jackknife on Interstate 80, forcing officials to close eastbound lanes between Grand Island and Lincoln. The Nebraska Department of Transportation tweeting a warning to drivers not to travel. This same system causing dense fog in Chicago and snarling travel plans.
Just a lot of disappointment, man. Supposed to left yesterday. I'm just trying to get to my family in Texas.
The low visibility causing dozens of flights to be canceled or delayed at Chicago's Midway Airport.
It's terrible. I'm just keep trying to keep a smile, keep a positive outlook to keep from crying.
Midway is the fourth busiest hub for Southwest Airlines. The weather causing at least 58 flights to be canceled. A spokesperson for the airline saying they have all hands on deck to find alternative flights for passengers. I'm Jen Sullivan reporting.
Well, let's take a look now at CBS7.com, where you can see our real stories, real time with real viewers. See all of these right now online by downloading our app or visiting our website, CBS7.com. And still ahead, a grandfather gets a new heart and a new chance at life right before the holidays. Next on CBS 7 News at 9, we have his amazing story and why he's heading back to the hospital for Christmas. Talking your health headlines here at 9 o'clock. A New York grandfather is celebrating the gift of life this holiday season. Jared Hill has more on how he and his family got their Christmas miracle.
This Christmas,
are you ready for Santa Claus?
Yeah. The gift Carlos Toro is most grateful for is time.
Yeah, I get to spend time with my granddaughter. Yeah. Mostly.
It's a present he worried would never come after a massive heart attack last year. The 57-year-old's heart suffered so much damage, he ended up in heart failure.
At first, I figured, I guess it was my time.
He was barely able to do anything. He couldn't really get back to work. His heart really wasn't pumping enough blood.
After doctors at Mount Sinai Hospital told him he needed a heart transplant, he spent 5 months in the ICU waiting. The woodworker picked up drawing to pass the time. Word came that there was a new heart a couple of times, but each surgery was canceled.
What was going through your mind as
you got 1, 2, 3 possibles that just didn't happen?
I just figured it wasn't meant to be.
The third call came in September, and the call was finally answered.
He had a pump which had been placed to help his heart prior to the surgery, which we left in a few days, and then his new heart started working straight away.
Just thankful to be alive.
Carlos couldn't wait to create these gifts for his doctors.
Within 3 weeks of a heart transplant, he was able to make this carving for me, which is amazing and really goes to show how the transplant has given him back his life.
Carlos is heading back to the hospital for Christmas, but this time just to say thank you.
There's so many people there that actually cared for me, and it's not so much like they're just doing their jobs.
The rest of the time,
you're so smart.
He plans to be right here, cherishing every moment. Jared Hill, CBS News, Brooklyn, New York.
Carlos says he is still recovering and doctors want to make sure his body does not reject the new heart, but he says that he's getting stronger by the day. Carlos is also especially grateful because people with his O blood type are actually typically at a disadvantage because they can only receive organs from other people in the same O blood group.
Well, it was a little bit of a chilly day out there, but we are going to see improvement with those temperatures. Your full forecast coming up after the break.
Now, from the CBS7 First Alert Weather Center, here's meteorologist Sawyer McElroy.
Good evening and Merry Christmas, everybody. Hope you enjoyed your day. It was a little bit of a chilly one out there. We had a cold front roll through late last night, and looking at our observed highs across the state, 40s, 50s, 60s, and some 70s. And closer to home, we saw those temperatures in the 40s, 50s, and 60s, up to about 43 in Midland for today, 44 in Odessa, 52 in Marfa and Alpine, and 52 in Presidio, or 62 in Presidio for today. Current temperatures have dropped nicely into the 30s for the majority of us, and Presidio sitting at 49 at the present time. And we are seeing some light winds out there, anywhere from being calm to about 5 miles per hour across the region. So overall, not too bad tonight, but just a light breeze. But we are seeing some wind chill temperatures into the 20s for some for Alpine at the present time. Clear skies, quiet conditions out there, minus a few clouds near the Big Bend area, but overall not looking too bad. And really across the state, if you are traveling, doing some after holiday travel, not looking too bad either. But if you are doing any travel headed to the East Coast, parts of the Midwest, like we talked about earlier in the show, well, they are having some weather issues, some blizzard conditions, some ice in North Dakota at the present time. For our futurecast, though, quiet, clear conditions throughout the next day and really throughout the week as well. So looking like a great week ahead, but lots of sunshine for our Tuesday. And we're going to see those temperatures a little bit warmer as well. Even though we're going to see those temperatures warmer, still going to be a little bit of a cold start. Forecasted wind chills early in the morning down to the teens for some Hobbs, and then into Midland, Odessa, the low 20s. So definitely want to bundle up if you are out and about early tomorrow morning. For our Tuesday, going to be on the breezy side too, with some gusts up to about 30, 35, 40 miles per hour for some. So if you still have any Christmas decorations out, definitely want to make sure those are secure. But like I said, temperatures will be a little bit warmer in the 50s and 60s across the region. 55 Midland, Odessa, up to about 65 for Presidio, 61 over in Pecos. For our CBS7 First Alert exclusive 10-day forecast, well, we're not really going to see a lot of variation in those temperatures as we head through the week. A little bit of a warm up heading into the upcoming weekend for our New Year's, but a cold front will roll through late New Year's Eve into New Year's Day, dropping those temperatures just a little bit, but overall temperatures right around normal for where they should be this time of year.
Sawyer, thank you very much. Still ahead here at 9 o'clock. Sometimes Tinder, Bumble, or even Hinge just don't cut it in the dating world. Well, coming up next, we talk about one woman's festive approach to finding love. That's next here at 9. Across the nation, a single Minneapolis woman has had it with the usual ways of meeting men. Just in time for the holiday, she decided to try a new approach, using Christmas cards. Jason Rentala explains.
Dating apps like Hinge and Bumble are popular ways to find dates in 2023.
I know I'm not the only one that had an extraordinarily terrible year on the dating apps.
But what if that's just not for you? As 27-year-old Julia McClellan found.
It's me, my pup Susie.
What may appear as just a traditional Christmas card has an additional message.
It says, "Are you seeing this on my friend's fridge? Are you a single male between the ages of 25 and 35? Hi, I'm Julia."
What inspired you for this idea?
I'm in marketing and I make music on the side, so I'm like constantly thinking of like creative ways to get a message out. And so I thought, I haven't done that in my dating life, and the dating apps weren't super fun this year, so why not?
She has the horror stories.
Yeah, they were bad.
To prove it.
I think the worst one was a guy who was telling me about he had some female coworkers, and he was like, I've just decided that women can't make a rational decision. And so I was like, well, I'm about to make a really rational decision about this guy.
Since posting to TikTok a few days ago, she's had a few people slide into her DMs.
My Instagram DMs are currently filling up, which is kind of fun. There's some people that I'm like, oh, that's a scary person. And then there's other people that I'm like, oh, they're cute. So
for Julia, she says it's about breaking out of her comfort zone to ring in 2024.
It's fun energy to go into the new year doing something like this. Try something new. You got to try something new in the new year.
Jason Rantala.
It's on the fridge internet now. Like the internet of the fridge is what we're calling it now.
WCCO News.
Now, Julia says this is her first year sending out Christmas cards, and she sent one to 15 friends and family as well. She says she's looking to date someone goal-oriented who loves to travel and has a strong faith. Still ahead here at 9, Santa has successfully finished his trip all around the world. Coming up in just a few minutes, we are talking about the team of volunteers who tracked his entire sleigh ride from start to finish, including help from President Biden. That's next. Before we go, last night, President Biden and First Lady Dr. Jill Biden spent part of their Christmas Eve taking calls from children wanting to know the whereabouts of Santa Claus. The North American Aerospace Defense Command, we call it NORAD, keeps track of Santa as he flies all around the world, delivering presents to people around the globe. The president posted on X that he got to speak to some excited young Americans curious about Santa's location. And Sawyer, I know you had quite a lot to do with that, volunteering remotely this year, is that right?
Yeah, I'm guessing that's what the president and the first lady did as well. I'm guessing they did it remotely.
Yeah.
But yeah, super fun to do. I was helping track Santa back here in the Weather Center, also tracking the weather as well. So yeah, definitely such a fun thing to do, and glad they got to get in on it as well. Like I said, probably remotely for them.
Yeah.
but still such a fun thing to do for
It
sure.
is, and kind of rings in winter. And speaking of, it's actually feeling like winter tonight.
Yeah, definitely tonight. We had a cold front roll through late last night, but the good news is we are going to see temperatures a little bit more normal for this time of year once we get into tomorrow. So back into the 50s, lots of sunshine, quiet conditions throughout this week, and looking pretty good for our New Year's weekend.
Glad to hear it, Sawyer. Well, thanks for joining us here at 9. We have more coming up over on CBS7 News at 10. See you then.